At 35,000 feet, the future of air warfare is invisible. There is no roar, there is no radar trace, there is no warning. The enemy will not know a threat is in their airspace until their defenses start to go dark. This is the truth of the upgraded F-35 Lightning II. It has seen the enemy first, locked onto them first, and decided the entire outcome long before any fight was known to have begun. This overwhelming advantage defines the new face of military power. Against rivals like China and Iran, the difference is not speed or altitude. The difference is information. Control of the sky depends on who detects first, who decides fastest, and who acts most decisively. The F-35 is not simply evolving, it is transforming into the digital brain of modern air dominance. For years, critics claimed that the F-35's time of superiority was ending. They pointed to China's J-20 stealth fleet and Russia's Su-57. They named the new hypersonic missiles that could change how war is fought. Yet, the reality unfolding in 2025 reveals a decisive picture. The F-35 is becoming less an aircraft and more a complete global combat system. It is a networked node capable of commanding entire fleets, disrupting enemy radar, and rewriting how battles in the air are won. This transformation is rooted in a single piece of hardware and the advanced software it runs. At the heart of this change is the new TR-3 mission computer. This computer represents one of the largest leaps in airborne processing power in the history of US military technology. Its power is 20 times greater than the machine it replaced. This vast computational ability allows the F-35 to take in massive amounts of data from its sensors, from satellites, and from allied forces. It processes all of this information in mere milliseconds. The result is more than just awareness. It is foresight. The jet gains the ability to anticipate threats before the enemy's own radars even register a signal. This processing speed is not just a technical detail, it is a psychological weapon. For the pilot inside the cockpit, the F-35's new interface reduces the chaos of battle to total clarity. Data that once scattered across many screens is now fused into a single, intuitive display. It presents a dynamic picture of the entire battle space to the pilot. In combat, this feature means critical seconds are gained. Lives are saved because decisions are made at machine speed. The pilot does not just fly the jet anymore. They orchestrate an entire ecosystem of sensors and shooters. In this ecosystem, information is the only ammunition that truly matters. The expanded weapons capacity of the F-35 redefines what that ammunition can achieve. Traditionally, stealth aircraft carried less ordnance to maintain their invisibility. The new F-35 configurations completely reverse that old trade-off.
Before we get to that, I need your help. I'm trying to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I need your help. So I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe and help me out.
With upgraded weapon bays and strong external pylons, the jet can now carry up to 22,000 pounds of weapons. This payload is more diverse and lethal than ever before. The F-35 can equip new long-range air-to-air missiles, experimental hypersonic prototypes, and precision-guided bombs at the same time. It can instantly shift from intercepting enemy fighters to striking ground targets without having to fly back to base. This capability means the aircraft can engage adversaries across air, sea, and ground domains, all within a single mission. Lockheed Martin engineers call this ability mission fluidity. It is the power to adapt instantly. It is the ability to morph from a defender to an attacker as soon as the operational landscape changes. In a conflict against any major adversary, this adaptability is the absolute difference between dominance and outright defeat. But the true weapon upgrade is found in the realm of the unseen. It is beyond bombs and missiles. The F-35's enhanced electronic warfare suite gives it the power not just to hide, but to actively manipulate the environment. It can blind enemy radar systems. It can jam their communications. It can project false signals that completely confuse enemy sensors. Imagine an adversary screen detecting 5 incoming targets when there is only one. That phantom swarm is born from digital deception. This capacity allows the F-35 to shape the very reality its enemies perceive. It completely rewrites the laws of detection and engagement. This capability has evolved into what the Pentagon calls cognitive stealth. The aircraft no longer relies only on radar-absorbing coatings to hide. It uses predictive algorithms to analyze the enemy's sensor behavior in real time. It then modifies its own emissions and flight patterns to remain invisible. This is not passive stealth. It is active, adaptive, and intelligent concealment. The F-35 achieves invisibility by decision, not just by physical design. Coupled with the upgraded AN/APG-85 radar, the fighter does not just detect targets farther away, it discerns targets smarter. The new radar system merges tracking for air-to-air and air-to-ground targets. It identifies targets through heavy interference and clutter that would completely blind any older system. In field tests, this system has shown the ability to track hypersonic missiles and low observable drones at the same time. This dual domain awareness is essential for any future battlefield where missiles fly faster than human decisions can be made. The F-35 ensures that the first warning is not also the last. What sets this American fighter apart from every rival is how all these powerful systems communicate with each other. Its sensor fusion is not just about gathering information, it is about perfect interpretation. The aircraft consolidates radar data, infrared data, electronic signals, and offboard data into one single perfect real-time feed. During an engagement, the pilot does not see a scatter of confusing readings. They see a living, clear map. All enemies are highlighted. All threats are ranked. All priorities are assigned automatically. This process turns complexity into absolute clarity and confusion into total control. The introduction of AI-driven processing deepens this control even further. Machine learning is now embedded within the F-35's architecture. This system constantly refines sensor inputs and predicts the most likely threat paths the enemy will take. This system will soon evolve into a full collaborative combat autonomy. The F-35 will act as the mission commander for drones and unmanned loyal wingmen. These connected assets are controlled through secure data links. They can scout ahead, jam targets, or execute perfectly coordinated strikes. They extend the F-35's lethality far beyond its own physical reach. This vision of manned-unmanned teaming transforms the F-35 into a command and control node that is absolutely consequential.
Before we get to that, I need your help. I'm trying to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I need your help. So I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe and help me out.
In the chaos of modern warfare, where information is fragmented and decisions happen at machine speed, the ability to synchronize manned fighters, autonomous drones, and naval or ground systems gives the US and its allies an undeniable, asymmetric edge. This turns a single aircraft into a multiplier of military force. Critics once questioned the F-35's complexity and its high cost. But the ongoing upgrades prove that the investment was not made for a single generation of air power. It was an investment in endless adaptability. The open system architecture introduced with these upgrades allows the platform to integrate new sensors, new software, and new weapons without ever needing a structural redesign of the aircraft. This modularity ensures that as technology evolves, the aircraft evolves with it. The F-35's relevance is not fixed by time. It is perpetually renewed by code. This flexibility matters because air dominance is not static. It is a contest of iteration. The winner is the one who upgrades faster and adapts first. Rivals can build new jets, but they are building into an ecosystem that the F-35 already completely dominates. More than 20 allied nations now operate or will soon operate this jet. All of them benefit from shared software upgrades and integrated data networks. This creates a global combat web where every single F-35, regardless of its nation's flag, becomes an eye, an ear, and a transmitter within the same digital battle space. In strategic terms, this allied architecture is revolutionary. A single F-35 patrolling the Baltic Sea, can instantly transmit sensor data to another F-35 flying over the Pacific Ocean. Allied pilots see the exact same picture. They share the exact same awareness. They act in unified, perfect synchronization. No previous generation of fighter has ever achieved this level of global interoperability. This is not just an advantage, it is an architecture of global dominance. The results of this power are already being seen, and they expose the profound weakness of adversaries. China's J-20 jet and Iran's air defense systems cannot compete because their core problem is architectural. They are fighting in isolation. Their sensors feed separate systems. Their command networks depend on slow human relay and slow decision loops. The F-35 collapses those loops. One F-35 sees what every other F-35 sees. If a single jet detects a hostile radar source over the horizon, every single aircraft, ship, and command center linked to the network knows the threat instantly. This turns the entire US and Allied force into one living, learning, and coordinated organism. When a Chinese or Iranian radar system switches on, it is not just exposing itself to a single jet. It exposes itself to a network that responds collectively. The F-35's sensors map the radar signature, identify its frequency, and feed it to Allied systems for immediate jamming or targeting. Before the enemy radar operators can even react, their system has already become part of someone else's dataset. Electronic warfare is where this advantage becomes lethal and humiliating. The F-35's EW suite is not just defensive, it is predatory. It blinds, it deceives, and it isolates enemy systems without ever revealing its own position. While adversary radars struggle to find even a faint trace, the F-35 is already feeding them false returns. It creates phantom targets that waste their missiles and their attention. This cognitive deception breaks down the enemy's coordination from within. Iranian analysts have even described moments when their radar screens were filled with ghosts. These false signatures appeared and vanished faster than the operators could ever track them. That confusion is the F-35's digital fingerprint. Confusion in place of contact. The operational maturity of the F-35 fleet is the most underestimated weapon of all. The fleet has logged over 800,000 flight hours worldwide. It has been tested across all climates, in every combat zone, and in intense training environments. Pilots from more than a dozen nations share their experience through a common training system. They learn from real shared combat feedback. In contrast, China's J-20 is limited by deep operational secrecy and smaller fleet numbers. Iran still relies on old airframes from the 1970s and imported prototypes. They operate within a confined regional bubble. The difference is clear. One side practices war at a global scale. The other side can only imagine it. Command and control make that scale decisive. An F-35 strike package does not need constant direction from a centralized ground station. Each F-35 is the ground station. Each aircraft can autonomously relay target data, coordinate suppression missions, and call in fire support from naval ships. Linked to AWACS planes and to satellites, the jet functions as a command node that is distributed, agile, and nearly impossible for the enemy to isolate. China's and Iran's regional command structures rely on centralized control. In wartime, that centralization becomes a point of absolute fragility. Destroy one central node, and the entire chain collapses. The F-35's network, in contrast, heals itself automatically. This electronic resilience ensures that the F-35 keeps fighting even when it is under heavy jamming. Its communication systems use frequency hopping, advanced encryption, and multipath relays that adapt dynamically under attack. Iranian and Chinese systems still struggle with internal electromagnetic interference when they face advanced jammers. In simulated engagements, the F-35 has maintained its data sharing even while conventional radios were completely degraded. The F-35 does not simply resist electronic warfare, it thrives inside it. It turns the enemy's attempts at disruption into opportunities for counter-location. Psychologically, this creates an invisible wall of deterrence. When your opponent knows that you can see them before they can see you, that you can strike them before they can respond, and that you can disappear Before they can retaliate, they will hesitate. That hesitation is the victory in modern warfare. Chinese analysts have openly acknowledged this asymmetry in their defense journals, calling it situational paralysis. Iran's military briefings echo the same anxiety. They know that the F-35's arrival over the Gulf shifts every single calculus, every radar assumption, and every patrol pattern they rely on. They know they are being hunted by a weapon they cannot track. Every system the F-35 carries, its radar, its sensor fusion, its weapons management, works toward one psychological outcome: total control. Control of the information, control of the tempo, control of the enemy's perception. It redefines air superiority not as physical domination of space, but as complete domination of awareness. China's vast missile fields and Iran's layered defenses depend entirely on reaction time. The F-35 steals that time away. In a fight measured in mere seconds, owning the milliseconds is absolute supremacy. This imbalance is enduring because it only compounds over time. Each new F-35 delivered strengthens a global architecture that is already in motion. Japan, Israel, Italy, the UK, and Australia all contribute to a shared data ecosystem. This ecosystem expands in reach and intelligence every single day. When one allied nation learns how to jam a new type of enemy radar, that lesson is instantly uploaded and distributed fleet-wide. By the time China is able to test a countermeasure, the information is already outdated. Iran's hope of achieving parity through imitating Chinese jets faces the same fate. Hardware alone cannot replicate this network. The F-35 is not a weapon you simply buy. It is a capability you join. Its real power is not found in its stealth coding or its engine thrust. It is found in the invisible threads that connect it to every other sensor and shooter across the entire battle space. In that web, no rival platform stands alone long enough to matter. The battlefield becomes asymmetric because one side is playing an entirely different game. As China expands its carrier fleet and Iran pursues their own domestic fighters, the gap between us and them will not close through mere imitation. The F-35 is the embodiment of integration warfare: hardware, software, doctrine, and global alliance acting as one synchronized entity. Rivals may replicate individual parts, but they cannot replicate the ecosystem that breathes life into them. The F-35 is forcing every adversary to face a hard truth. They are now building jets, while the US and its allies are building an information empire. The technological surge of the F-35 forces rivals onto a treadmill of replication and unsustainable spending. The cost of trying to stay competitive grows exponentially, while the payoff remains uncertain. A single F-35 can coordinate an entire strike package and relay data to ships hundreds of miles away. To counter this single aircraft, a rival must build an entire network of their own, costing billions. This creates predictable results, shortcuts in procurement, and politically driven projects that prioritize speed over real substance. The pressure to match American air power creates national insecurity disguised as modernization. The F-35's network dominance is transforming air combat from dogfights into data fights. Victory depends on who controls the electromagnetic environment, not on who can pull the tightest turns. The knowledge that the upgraded F-35 can strike first and vanish before any retaliation is what alters the enemy's behavior. That knowledge discourages escalation. It reshapes their military planning. It reinforces the global perception of uncontested US air dominance. The cost of engagement becomes too high. The probability of their survival becomes too low. In essence, these upgrades have made the F-35 not just a weapon, but a doctrine itself. It is the living embodiment of modern air power philosophy. Detect first, decide first, strike first, and vanish. Its greatest strength is not in its destructive power, but in the certainty of its control. When the F-35 enters a contested airspace, the battle is already decided. The enemy simply does not know it yet. Every line of code, every new radar module, and every AI refinement serves one singular purpose: to ensure that the United States and its allies can dismantle enemy formations before those enemies even understand they are at war. The F-35 is the foundation of sixth-generation doctrine, while the next-generation air dominance program is still years from being fielded. The F-35's upgrades effectively bridged the gap. It is a fifth-generation platform armed with sixth-generation intelligence. This continuity ensures that when new fighters eventually arrive, they will enter an ecosystem already optimized for networked warfare. The F-35's evolution is not the end of this journey. It is the beginning of a new epoch. Air superiority is no longer measured by how fast or how high a jet can fly, but by awareness, by adaptability, and by the intelligence required to command every domain from a single cockpit. The battlefield has changed forever, and its new command post flies unseen at 35,000 feet. The F-35 is the ultimate power. It controls the fight by never being found. What you've seen is only the beginning. America's power is just getting started. On your screen is the next video. Click the video, it opens right away, and you'll watch US jets and technology strike even harder.